Alright, we got Automotive Tools, Volume 2. I really wanted to do my next video for my cooling system stuff, and I was getting everything together to make that. And I guess a couple people have watched the first tools video. They've left me some pretty good comments and questions in my inbox. I'm going to address some of them now. When I made the first video, the actual runtime was actually close to 40 minutes, and it was a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about, but really didn't fit into the whole theme of basic tools. And we're going to cover some of that stuff today, answer some of the questions, and we'll take it from there. Gawkins asks, what is that other ratchet at 117? I guess some of the users out there are very observant. There was a little ratchet sitting here. It was this little $90 Matco ratchet that I had talked about, but I had to edit out all that stuff. It was comparing the Matco $90 fancy ratchet to the Task Force one and why the Matco is my backup. So actually I'm going to go back into that video and add some of that stuff in right now. It gives you a little bit more leverage than just having just the 1/4 inch little dinkster, you know what I mean? Well, I take that back, because this Task Force ratchet, it's the best fucking ratchet I've ever bought. As a reference, this little Matco thing, like $90, it's my backup. Even at work, I have the same ratchet at work. I don't know what it is. Maybe Task Force used like adamantium or something when they made the when they made the ratchet, because it's indestructible. The one at my tools at work take some fucking abuse, and that thing has withstood the test of time. Hard to believe, someone would actually say that the Task Force shit they bought at Lowe's was better than the $90 thing they got from another tool maker. You can only break something so many times before you say, you know what, there's got to be a better way. You are not going to find someone else that's going to, that's going to actually recommend you the Task Force over the Matco. Usually the people that recommend the Task Force are the people that can't afford the Matco. I can afford any fucking tool I want, but I'm going to tell you what's the best value for you. You know what I mean? That's how I'm doing it. So someone messaged me, why do you have impact sockets and not use impact tools? Well, that's a pretty good question. Why would I use impact sockets and not have impact tools? They're built stronger. Now here's just a 1/4 inch drive, 8mm Craftsman socket. It's a 6-point. Got a big old crack down that thing. I mean, this is just from normal use. Nothing, no impact tools, no nothing. So it only makes sense to get the deep well impact 1/4 inch 6-point socket. I know it's not going to break. That's the Matco ADV line. It was in that little kit I showed you. Same deal with like the 1/2 inch stuff. Here's a Mac Tools, whatever I was using it for, and put a big old crack right down that thing. Well, here I have a the same size impact, and I know that I'm not going to break this thing. So the whole point of that was, stuff will break even with just hand tools. You get the impact sockets, just use them with your hand tools. I mean, makes sense, right? For instance, if you're going to torque down, just say an axle hub nut, you're going to get the axle hub nut set. If you do a lot like me, they're going to give you impact sockets, but you're just supposed to use it with a regular 1/2 inch drive torque wrench. I mean, I think that if you could have used the regular socket, they would just give you chrome ones, and it probably would have been a little cheaper. The same deal, like just say you're rebuilding a rear differential and you're torquing the pinion nut down. I mean, you're going to use an impact socket with your 3/4 inch torque wrench. What, you got to get them things up to close to 300 fucking foot-pounds? You're not going to use some dinky, crappy chrome stuff. What do you mean, master fuel pressure tester? I guess this is someone who didn't watch the Trailblazer fuel pressure video, so I'll take a minute to go over that. I made a video for the Trailblazers, and what I showed was part of this. It's a master fuel injection test kit, meaning it comes with different ends that fit different vehicles. I use this for what I do because who knows what I'll be testing fuel pressure on here. So it'll give me, this kind of an end, or this kind of an end, or a whole bunch of other ends. The one that I showed in the video, it had a fixed end in it. So what you're seeing is, more or less the same thing. This one's just a little bit bigger, but it's the same size. You'll have to trust me on that. This thing I think is probably like $23, $24 I think I paid for it, whereas this kit was significantly more. Again, you don't need all this crap. Why do you have Task Force sockets? Oh, this fucking guy. This is my bitter GM technician rival who's For somehow he stumbled on the Trailblazer videos, and I guess he's a GM mechanic and didn't like what I had to say about him. And he kind of leaves some comments, but it's YouTube. What can you do? He goes on to say that you have a fancy scan tool, but you have junk ass Task Force sockets. Well, we'll talk about brands, brand comparisons, something about brands. All right, well, let's talk about this. The junk ass Task Force set. Haven't broke one. I've used them hundreds, if not thousands of times, doing repairs over the past couple years. This particular set I've had since, I don't know, '06 or whatever. Like I said, it was under 30 bucks for the whole rail, I think, and it came with the ratchet. Awesome. That guy goes on to say, I would have bought a cheaper scan tool but better sockets, which is cool. I think I saw him in here. This is the March 2012 Snap-on Hot Tools book. Well, we'll just do, it's not really a fair comparison, but this is all I have in front of me with prices. If you were to get their 12-piece 3/8 drive, flank drive 6-point blah 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 metric socket set, that's $190 for this rail right here. I mean, working at home for something that's not going to be used with impact tools, something that just I use on engine parts and brakes and whatever else I get into, I'm not going to spend $190. I have no problem spending $190, but why would I tell these guys that, you know, you're... See, we're going to get off topic again. This is where I get, you know, fired up here. If you wanted to get the cheap scan tool, you wanted to spend the $190 on the better sockets, more power to you. I just, you know, people will make comments like that about junk ass sockets. I don't care. I don't work for Task Force. I don't give a fuck what you think about them. And in fair comparison, yes, at my work, at my real job, I do have the 8 through 19 Snap-on mid-length 3/8 drive chrome sockets, and I do use them. But this isn't about me in my professional job. This is about me at home, just doing what I do, you know. This is about you guys in your driveway, and you have this stuff available to you, which works well, but then you've got some other people saying, nope, you got to spend the money on the bigger sockets, on the better sockets, I'm sorry. You got to spend the money on the better sockets. And what's better? I'm going to touch on something else here too. This was brought up a lot. This is why my other video for tools ran for 40 minutes and had to get edited down to 11 and some change. It's a video I watched. The guy's name was Rans87 IROC. He made an awesome video. It was about a bit socket set that Snap-on made. It was a 36-piece bit set, and the price on it was over $700 for, you know, basic, you know, bits. I don't have the flyer in front of me. The comments on that thing reminded me of the assholes that I worked with when I started doing this stuff. And they were the same guys that would just... They might as well be fucking tool salesmen. You know, get Snap-on. It's the best. You know, save your money up and get real tools. And from someone who now has done this since forever, I can say that they're all full of fucking shit, and some of that was the worst advice I ever got in my life. I'm trying to say it without cursing, because, you know, some people, that, you know, they don't want to hear any of that. I'm going to go into, again, I'm not biased against any company, and I don't work for any company. We're going to go through this Matco book right here. Sorry to call you out, Matco. You know I love your tools. Ah, here's a good one right here. I'm going to talk about this. This right here is a 10-piece metric 6-point universal impact socket set. It goes for $444.95. Back when I started, I would have some asshole telling me that, you know, oh yeah, that's a pretty good deal, you should get those. Telling me that I had to spend $444.95 on some fucking sockets. Or that I would have to someday. You're going to have to spend $444.95 on these sockets someday, son. No, not going to happen. Back then, I didn't even make $444.95 in a week. There's no fucking way that I'm going to be able to pay that. And I can't imagine what, not only the guys working in the driveway are going through, but the guys just starting out as automotive technicians. What do they say when they see something like that? And I guess that's what the Rans IROC Z video made me think of. You know, I don't have brand favorites. I think I've proven that by saying that, you know, I use the Task Force more than the Matco ratchet. I guess the whole point is, you know, you get what works for you, and fuck what the other guys say. If someone was to try to come to me and try to tell me personally how the Snap-on socket set for $120 is better than my Task Force one, I wouldn't care what they have to say. You know, I would tell them to fuck off. I really don't care. If you're, you know, one of those people that are brainwashed into thinking, oh, Snap-on's the best, well yeah, this is a very nice snap-on ratchet. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to go and fucking hug their nuts on every tool that they make and say, oh yeah, that socket's at $120, you should get that. Fuck that, for real. I just don't get, you know, this blind loyalty to places, you know. I'm not loyal with any company. Whoever makes the best shit, well, that's what I use. If it's task force sockets that, you know, are cheap, you know, that's what I'm going to use. And I just tell it like it is, you know. I'm not a salesman for anybody. I'm not going to say, Snap-on Tools Ratchet. I'm not going to, you know, say, I use the Snap-on, whatever the fuck this is. I use the Snap-on SHLF 80A. You should get it too. Fuck that. Like I said in the other video, this is just for breaking those fucking GM lugs that, you know, they're torqued to oblivion, you know. Who torqued that thing down? You know? I mean, a lot of my reviews and shit, well, a lot of the stuff I talk about, it's all based on first-hand experience. There was a time where I had the Craftsman 3/8 ratchet, and I used it, and it got me by early on, and I still have it. I don't use it anymore. I go out and buy the Matco 3/8 ratchet. Pretty awesome tool, but this is actually a backup. My really nice 3/8 ratchet is at work because it's heavy duty shit at work. You know what I mean? That shit ain't no joke at work. So what are you gonna find here? Like I said, I mean, this is it. It's something as far as automotive tools that you're not gonna find anywhere else. You know, everywhere else it's a lot of dick riding, and I got the $444 socket set, you gotta get it too. Fuck that, that's not how I'm gonna roll. So we talked about the other ratchet, why you have task force sockets, why, and then the whole bit about the GM scan tool. Like I said, this guy's a fucking GM technician, I'm sure he is, because he really seemed to get on my shit when I made those comments about they're fucking idiots on the case relearn video. That's when he popped up. And I mean, why do I have the GM scan tool? I really don't have to answer that, but I'll answer you, tortoises. I need to do anything on a GM. I mean, I need to go in, whatever, PCM, TCM, body computer, airbag module, I mean, all kinds of tests and stuff that I fix. I need that scan tool. I guess, like I said in the comment that I left you, I kind of needed something physically there so I can say, you need a scan tool. I can't just point at an empty fucking piece on the workbench and say, you need this imaginary scan tool. I needed to have something physically there. I didn't want to show it. I didn't really technically show it, but I just said, you know, I don't want these guys to go out and think that they have to spend big bucks on a scan tool just to read check engine lights when they don't. And, you know, it is a big difference. I mean, the difference between the basic tools and what you would need, like say doing it professionally, of course there's going to be a big difference. We're talking about basically the guys just working in the driveway, the guys that are, you know, watching the Trailblazer videos. They've asked me about tools, what can I say? And I feel that, you know, I've got enough experience in them and enough hands-on experience with them, obviously, where I have, you know, I needed to pull out 7 ratchets for a video. No problem. If there's anything that you guys would like to see specifically, go ahead, leave me a comment. If you don't want to leave a comment, hit me up in my inbox. I check YouTube once or twice a day, see what's going on. So stay tuned, Volume 3 is coming soon. We're going to talk about cooling system tools, stuff you need for coolant leaks and doing repairs to your cooling system. These won't be basic shits, but, you know, sometimes you got to have the stuff to do the job. I mean, it's the name of the game, you know. Yeah, so to all you guys out there, you know, just getting into this, maybe working out in the driveway or, you know, getting into a shop, man. Good luck, man. Do your research. Don't listen to that fucking asshole next to you, or don't listen to that. I don't want to say don't listen to the tool man. Man, they're just out there trying to make their living, man. You know, I never take what I see in the sales flyer from, say, Matco. You know, I'll never go up to the Snap-on guy and say, what the fuck, man? This toolbox is $56, $55. What the fuck? He doesn't set the prices. He's just trying to earn a living, man. Here's a 1/4 inch long handle ratchet with soft grip handle for $83.95. I will put my task force up against that any day. Oh, well, it's got a soft grip handle. Well, it's definitely worth fucking $70 more. I do have one more thing I want to talk about. Tools that I definitely don't use, nut drivers. I don't know why. I fucking hate them. I don't use them. I don't have any. Matter of fact, today, my fucking boss says, well, do you have a 10mm nut driver? I don't have any fucking nut drivers. I hate nut drivers. I don't know what it is. Fuck you, nut drivers. for weekly payments as low as $36.77 for the next 6 years. Yeah. Oh, we're not going to make a toolbox video. I'm already cursing and I haven't even talked about it yet. I can't really talk about work though.
I don't think
That's
so.
like confidentiality
Yeah.
stuff or whatever. A little confidentiality. I'm a lawyer scientist. Oh, there's that spark checker. Oh, damn. What's it doing in with the fuel stuff? You ever put the spark stuff in with the fuel stuff?